All right, good morning, garden friends. Don't be fooled by this sun. It is 40 degrees, and the way the wind is blowing, they said it'll feel like it's 37. But I have to get one last area in the garden taken care of, and that is behind the greenhouse, where it is my part shade area, where my hellebores, my heucheras, my pastas are back here, and a few of my part sun hydrangeas. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what I'm going to be working on. Okay, so this is going to be the area that I'm going to be working in. And as you guys know, I got my yard broken up in zones. So this is zone 7. And as you can see, I have a lot of hellebores that flowers or new growth is happening, and I need to get those leaves that have fallen down cut back so that the beauty of the flowers can shine through. Looks like some of my hyacinths are coming up. But yeah, guys, this is about me getting this area cleaned out. Look how gorgeous those are. So I do. All of these leaves that are laying down, I got to get cut back. And then my creeping phlox, I think it's the squirrels that keep digging it up. But I'm going to go ahead and put some more compost in there and get this mulched over here once I get it cleaned up. And then right here, I have my heucheras that these guys have done good. You know, normally by this time, I got nothing because they're like all crispy. Now, because these guys have done well back here, I have 5 that I'm gonna go ahead and plant over in this area. I did have them in pots, and then one of them, that's a chartreuse color, was over in my rock bed, and for some reason, that 1 out of 3 is not doing well. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that guy back here so that this whole area will have my heucheras in this area. And like I said, this is a part sun area, so it does not get that extreme heat, which is part of the reason why I think these guys have done so well since we have placed the greenhouse in front of this bed. I think these here are like wild geraniums. So, I mean, anything that needs to be cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and get cleaned up. I don't know what this is. I have another rose bush here. But this is mainly getting this area back here cleaned up. Now, it's like 12 o'clock. So, this is morning sun that this area ends up getting. But what's in the white pot there is my lantana. I'm going to go ahead and get that in the ground because it didn't do as well in the pot. But I know my other one that was in the ground did well. I have some Helen Von Steen lambs here. I'm just going to pull this out because it just doesn't seem to do well over here. And then my inner creepers, both of those guys are doing well. And my one hydrangea, I'm like, yeah, guys, look at this. See, this is what I want to see. I don't want to see all these leaves that have fallen. And then I got like tons of babies. And then look at this one over here. I think I need to probably put a little bit more topsoil or something on it. But I do. I want to go ahead and get this whole area back here cleaned up and mulch to be ready for spring. Now this here is a limelight that I propagated from a stick, and it did well. So I'm excited about that. But this is what I'm going to be working on this last section of the garden in preparation for spring. Okay, so these are the heucheras that I'm going to go ahead and get planted into the ground because we're supposed to be getting some freezing temperatures and the ground is still soft, and I just want to make sure, you know, they can get set. But I already see new growth on some of the ones that are already in here. So I'm going to get them planted and then start on my Lenton rows and work my way back to get anything dead cut off. I'm not going to worry about these guys right now. I just want to be able to get them in the ground. I don't know if I got anything else growing in here. But hopefully these will be good spots. And the good thing about this soil is really good. And then I'll go through and get a lot of this stuff cleaned up before I mulch. Now the one thing I will do is once I get everything cleaned up in here, I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle some blood meal on here, number one, to keep the squirrels and chipmunks from digging, you know, back here. And then just to, you know, give it a little feeding. So those guys are done. Let me go on up here to the Lenton rows and get those guys trimmed back so the beauty of the flowers can shine through. Okay, so the process for the Lenton rows, this here is all new, and you can see just based off of the color. So I'm going to be snipping all of these that are laying down, like this one. I'm gonna get this one too, because this here is the new growth. And then that way, all the energy is focused on the new growth. And then it'll allow the flowers to come through. And look at that. Look at all these little babies I got in here. There's like tons of them. And that's why, too, it's good to get these ones that are laying down cut so that the new growth and the babies can shine through. Yeah, anything that has like, that's frost burn from this cold weather we've been having. Anything that has frost burn on it, I'm getting it up, getting it out. And you know, these guys self-seed, which I don't mind. you know, because I so love these guys. And you can see I got tons of babies. All right, so guys, let me get in here and get all of these guys trimmed back, and then I will show you when these guys are done. So all right, so we're getting the azalea bush planted back here. I had it in that pot, but the location that it was at wasn't a good spot for it. So we're going to go ahead and put it in the ground back here with the rest of the part sun plants that we have. So I think it's going to end up doing really nicely here, because like early spring, it did fantastic. But when we got into the heat of the summer, it was suffering in the pot. So we're going to put it in the ground. Okay, so it is all cleaned out. And man, you can see the ground and the other plants that I had in here that may have been covered up by some of the Lenton rose leaves. As I stated, we moved the azalea bush there. I trimmed back my rose here. Got the heucheras all planted. And it just looks very nice. I mean, this area down here really opened up to where not only you can see my, what is that? Winter creepers better. I went ahead and planted the lantana back here with the hope that it will take. It did good last year, but not as well being in the ground as the other one did. So I'm kind of hoping this takes. And now, like I said, you can see the flowers for the Lenton rose. So let me go on in here, get this blown out, and then get this bed mulched, and zone 7 will be done. Okay, the bed is all done. I love it. And this is the thing. I end up mulching the bed because I do have other perennials that will come up later in the season, but they will have the protection of the mulch. I think the area where the heuchera is going to fill in really nicely here is going to look great. And just being able to have the bed look really finished. And then I had some leftover pansies and violas that I just went ahead and put in the bed. And like I said, now with the leaves cut, you can see the other plants that I have in here, and then really see the beauty of the Lenton rose buds that are coming through. And now, while we're gonna have some below freezing weather, the Lenton rose is a winter flower, so it is not going to negatively impact it. But guys, look at that. I can't wait until these guys open up. It is going to be gorgeous. And I got a combination of whites and pinks and purples back here. So, and then all in these bare areas are my hostas. So once those guys start popping up, this area back here will fill in really nicely. This looks so good. I love it. I love neat. I love neat. All right, garden friends, the temperature has dropped just in time for me to be done with this garden bed. I am really excited to see how it is going to look this spring, but then also during these colder weeks that we have, to be able to enjoy my Lenton roses. They are going to look so gorgeous when they all bloom. Well, until next time, thanks again for visiting Inspiring Garden Corner. And if you enjoy my content, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. I so appreciate it.